Scores of buildings and some factories in parts of the Volta region destroyed by Saturday's torrential rains.
The people that have their houses roofed off, they have no other place to stay. They have to patch with somebody else who also, and this community is a place where we have, in one household there's a lot of people in the house. So adding more people to it it's a very stressful thing.
Women in 4 communities in the Nanumba North municipality in the northern region appeal to authorities for potable water to prevent an outbreak of diseases.
This is the only source of our drinking water. It's a dam. And looking at the nature of the dam, the water has become green. It's so dirty that the women cannot use it.
And later, a girls' dormitory block constructed for the Asanteman Senior High School in the Ashanti region yet to be made available for use nearly 2 years after its completion, while students grapple with accommodation challenges.
It's because of the security situation at the State Boys where our dormitory is situated. There are a lot of squatters. People pass there through a gate to the race course. And we see that our students are not too secured when we send them there.
Thank you for tuning in. Let's bring you our first story now. The Ghana Health Service has confirmed 2 cases of Lassa fever in Accra after tests by the Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research. The Health Service disclosed that the first case was a 40-year-old trader who was unwell for a period of about 2 weeks and finally died at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. The second case is a contact of the fatal case and is currently on admission but is very stable. So far, 56 contacts have been identified and are being followed up by the Ghana Health Service. The service, in a statement signed by Director General Dr. Patrick Kumar, said that the Public Health Emergency Management Committees at the national, regional and district levels have been activated with detailed investigations, including an environmental assessment currently ongoing. The Health Service added that essential medical and logistics, including personal protective equipment, have been mobilized while contact tracing and management are ongoing. Lassa fever is endemic in Benin, Ghana, Guinea, Liberia, Mali, Sierra Leone and Nigeria. Hundreds of buildings and some factories in parts of the Volta region have been destroyed by Saturday's torrential rains. The rain, which started around 3 p.m. and lasted for well over an hour, caused destructions to some structures within the region. Some residents in the Fajato South district of the Volta region are calling for authorities as they fear the situation may further worsen. Citi News' Volta regional correspondent Desmond Salasiago has more in the following report.
Residents in some parts of the Volta region are counting their losses, while others have been thrown into a state of confusion as they are yet to identify a place to lay their heads following the destruction of their properties as a result of a heavy downpour which hit some parts of the region. Houses and factories were heavily affected by the rainstorm, which started around 3 p.m. on Saturday and lasted for about an hour and a half. Several buildings had their roofings ripped. Some factories have also shut down as their warehouses and machines were destroyed by floodwaters. In the Adaklu district of the Volta region, for example, a rice factory had some parts getting damaged as a result of the rainstorm. Residents in Tafiatome in the Afajato district, who were severely hit by the rainstorm, told Citi News they currently have no place to seek shelter. Lawrence Tete is a farmer who was affected by Saturday's rainstorm, narrates the incident to Citi News. Lawrence says his family has been compelled to seek shelter at their neighbor's place since they have no alternative.
Ayagbanto ikepola ba posese de gakera meglenu e ke to pando pajila e ya eva kakamia pe ko obete ya pe no sianola egben ya pe ko menu obete opro tala e bile kracha e ke mepo roba asia opre mono la ele home ola ya pete michi no kakame onye veve sese na mi blibo mi bati ya no viro ugbo enwo kela ya mi ga kubo va piame
Egbe defika nyamo.
Fuma koko mi agai. Ela be exame anega ga dora me ganya tepe ke mi ayo. E kenye jobo voila lati ke ka obete oto.
Ta menye kuhine opa felika wa mekego he va mode ma kuhine wa.
O nega tere ojichela. Wa ya doko na mi pepere ngbo.
Some residents of the affected area want to be supported with building materials.
Echoy ya fozame na bega neme ya no vinye de kai ya chega ifo esoro mi fo no ko yin ebe mama ditepe ya mi mo fuma gbin ebe ye che e fo me mi ata yin mama difimike mi amuno ta ya mi an na judo pe che ma no mo mo fo yin mata mo judo pe cho ya mi le ta me bu fimike tutu ma mo gbe afi ni ku de vi owe yo ni ta me bu na no pere mi ani ma po ko la gbo ncho che be ma dole fo me la be do kai fo.
Students who had their school uniforms and stationery destroyed by the floodwaters are appealing for support.
We went to farm before the thing happened. So as we came back, they said our house spot. So the roofing sheet fall inside the roof, so the things spot. My uniform, my textbook, some of my exercise book to spot. So a lot of things spot in the room. Actually now, I don't know because money, there is no money now, so I don't know how I'm going to manage to go.
Assembly member for the Tafiatom electoral area, Godwin Agbeku says, they are yet to receive support from Dadmo.
I hope this time around we will not be put to shame by our leaders. The people that have their houses roofed off, I mean, they have no other place to stay. They have to patch with somebody else who also, and this community is a place where we have, I mean, in one household there's a lot of people in the house. So having an addition of maybe adding more people to it is a very stressful thing. So I would have wished that the NADMO, the district, the regional and the national level, the government will come into our aid and help these people in any way that they can to help them have a place to lay their their heads. This is not something that they've done themselves. It's a disaster that has happened. It is a natural thing which they have not planned for. They have no other plan for. So they really need to be helped out of this issue.
Residents here at Tafi Atoma in the Afajato South District of the Volta region are calling on governments and other stakeholders, especially NADMO, to come to their aid and provide some relief items like roofing sheets, mattress, among others, following yesterday's rainstorm which displaced some households here. Reporting for Citi News, I'm Desmond Lassa.
Now, women in 4 communities around Makaile in the Nanumba North municipality in the northern region are appealing to authorities to urgently provide portable drinking water source to prevent an outbreak of diseases in the area. According to them, they currently share the only source of water, which is a dam with livestock such as goats, sheep and cattle, hence their worry and appeal. Our northern regional correspondent Mohammed Aminu Alabira visited the dam site and comes through with this report.
We are in the dry season, and one major challenge of this is the scarcity of potable water for most communities. In the rainy season, many of these communities depend on rainwater and other water bodies. Communities that are fortunate to have boreholes depend on them. At Makaile on the Bimbila Yendi Road and other communities in the area with a population of about 1,000 residents, They depend on the Makayele Dam. The dam serves not only the people, but their animals too. Women in the community say the dam is no longer safe for them as they share the dam with livestock. Citi News visited the dam site on Saturday morning to evaluate the situation on the ground. Indeed, a herd of cattle was seen entering the dam, with some defecating and urinating whilst drinking.
Treat the water, you can't use the water to cook.
So what are you doing with the water if you can't use it to cook? Do you drink the water?
Yeah, just use it to bath.
Ina chona nyingi ni to bring ani nyina poni. Kinye ni nyengani. Nyina mbuye tujomla. Numbucha to kulumbu gena lebena. Elum na eya don't the sea got to funa. Ben we na to kega kan nyina party nyanya. Kunga kuna ba.
Mr. Nimua is a leader in the Makayele community, and he has been speaking to Citi News about the situation.
This is the only source of our drinking water. It's a dam. And looking at the nature of the dam, the water has become green. It's so dirty that the women cannot use it. Even though some of the women, they fetch the water. But others have decided to drill some small holes by the riverside there, where they can get drinking water that is safe. Due to the nature of the dam. The animals, a lot of the animals, they drink they shit, they urinate into the water. The water is so dirty that it's not fit for human consumption. So we are suffering. If you look at the water, we are suffering. Every morning, the women share the water with the animals. And it's a pity. We have no other source of getting water.
This is the only dam serving the community, but others are urinating inside. After drinking, the animals will defecate inside. The women say the water is so dirty that they have dug some small wells here. Said that water will collect inside, and to them that water is more pure than the dam water. From Makayele community, Mohammed Aminu M. Alabira for Citi News.
Now, a girls' dormitory block constructed for the Asanteman Senior High School under GET Fund has not been made available for use nearly 2 years after its completion. While the school is grappling with accommodation challenges due to the huge infrastructure deficit it is facing, authorities of the school say they are unable to use the new facility due to security concerns. Ashanti Regional Correspondent Fatih Amin Ibrahim reports.
Asanteman Senior High School is located few miles from the central business district of Kumasi. With the increasing rate of urbanization within the metropolis, the school's limited land size makes it difficult for expansion of infrastructure to correspond with its growing student population. It is in view of this that the government used part of State Boys Basic School land that shares a wall with Asanteman SHS to construct a girls' dormitory block for the school. Sources within the school indicate that the contractors completed the facility and left site in September 2021, but this dormitory block has so far not been used for its intended purpose and looks abandoned. What appears to be worrying for the school authorities is the presence of squatters around the area, which they fear could pose a security threat if not urgently addressed. The assistant headmistress domestic, Georgina Osei, tells Citi News several appeals for authorities to provide security and ensure the operationalization of the facility have not been successful.
The dormitory is completed. It's just with a water system which has not been connected, but we can make use of it without the water system. However, it's because of the security situation at the State Boys where our dormitory is situated. There are a lot of squatters. People pass there through a gate to the race course, and we see that our students are not too secured when we send them there. However, because of the challenge of space here, we are thinking of sending the Form 1s who are coming there and some seniors. We've gone to the relevant authorities. We wrote to the regional director and then to the regional minister a headmaster and some management members went to the regional minister, and then we explained it with a letter to him. He directed first for us to serve those there ejection notice. The ejection notice expired, but nothing was done. For now, as Antima SHS, we will be happy if authorities come to our aid so that the place will be secured for us to use our dormitory.
Aside from the issue of the girls' dormitory block, Madam Georgina Osei has also been outlining some infrastructural challenges facing the school, which they want authorities to address.
As Antima SHS, you can see this, our infrastructure here. It's been there since 2015. It's now been completed. It's an administration block which was started by the previous administration. So we wish that they come to complete it with that. We also have an audit, a big auditorium which will serve as dining hall and an assembly hall. It has also become a standstill. So we need authorities to come to our aid. We have a lot of challenges, just to mention but a few. We also need an incinerator.
Residents in the area are equally disturbed about the non-operationalization of the girls' dormitory block. Bosie Amponsa Mensa is a unit committee member of Abripo Junction electoral area.
The community at large is much disturbed because state funds used to build such a big edifice and then is of no use.
When contacted, the Kumasi Metropolitan Education Director, David Opon, outlined some measures to be put in place to address the issues.
The discussions and the consultations that we've done with the headmaster indicate that the block is completed. But the problem with it is that they have to be supplied, provided with the water supply facilities over there. And that is very, very important. So the major problem has to do with water, provision of water at the facility. And the second issue has to do with security. You see, the whole Asantemai State Boys Enclave is under threat. There are a number of squatters who have taken over the place. So before the children or the students can be accommodated at that particular facility, security must be beefed up. So the discussions that we have with the management is that whilst waiting for government recruitment of security personnel to the school, the PTA should step in and hire temporary staff to man the place so that the children will be safe and then secure at that particular area. It's a get fund project which has been completed except the provision of water supply to that particular area. So together with the management, the GET Fund, which is the financier or the organization that is providing funding for the project, should be informed so that the consultant who is in charge of that particular project will come to site and provide the water facility for the area. Once it's completed and we are left with the water facilities, every arrangement and measure must be put in place so that they can use that facility, so that we don't experience any congestion within the dormitory, in the school system.
Now, years after the completion of this dormitory block, residents have raised concerns about the fact that it has still not been put to use. They want authorities to ensure that the right procedure is followed and that to be able to put it to good use. For Stinis, Fati Amin Ibrahim, Bantama.
Still on education, and residents of Nakbayili in the Nanumba South District in the Northern Region have expressed disappointment that a community day senior high school block in the area has been abandoned by the government, even though construction has been completed. It was the expectation of many, especially residents in the area, that first-year SHS students will be posted to the school beginning this academic year, but this did not happen. Our Northern Regional correspondent Mohammed Aminu Alabira visited the community and has come through with this report.
New academic year has just started and first-year senior high students are currently reporting and going through registrations. It was the hope and expectation of many, especially residents of Nakpayile, that the community-day senior high school in the area would be put to use this academic year. Incidentally, the school has been abandoned for about 8 years now. Residents in the area have expressed their disappointment over the situation and have called on the authorities to put the school to good use. They say the school, if operationalized, will open up business opportunities in the area. When Citi News visited the school, marker boards, fans, and lights are all fixed in the classrooms. Some residents have been sharing their disappointment with Citi News.
If there's going to be, if they go to the school, so, with those who are selling the food, if there's going to be, we can sell the food at, and we can make money.
The assemblyman for Nakpayile also lamented the situation and spoke to Citi News about it.
I don't even know where to start. This building, we as a community, we were thinking that it is something that is going to bring some fast development to the community. But looking at when it started up to now, and the whole structure is still hanging, and we cannot tell when it will be, students will be entering into it. It's a worry to the whole community, because the school is like it is holding the development, the key to the Nakpayile is not a small community. So ever since they started building it, market women have been coming to me. Assemblyman, I am coming to you to plead. When this building completes, I want to be selling food. I want to be selling stationaries and a whole lot of things. But it is, we are not just seeing anything to show that the vision of people, what they have been bringing to me, will come to materialize.
Citi News contacted the district chief executive for Nanumba South, who explained that the initial challenge was funding for the contractor, but now the facility is complete. He however says the contractor is yet to hand over the facility to the assembly, hence the current situation.
The E-blocks, as they are called, they are in two foods or two categories. We have those that are well-banked sponsored projects and Ghana government-sponsored projects. Fortunately or unfortunately, the Nakpayile one happens to be one of the Ghana government-sponsored projects. And this project suffered financial constraints somehow, and that has affected the completion period. So the dream or the hopes or the anticipation of people that the school would have been part of this year's public school for choice didn't materialize, didn't come to fruition because of this problem.
The state of Nakpayile Community Day Senior High School. It's a sad scene. Looking at it, everything I am told is in order now. Fans are working, the classrooms is there, blackboards are fixed in all the classrooms. But as to why the school is not open this year is the problem. I'm told there is furniture, everything is now set. The community members are expressing their disappointment at the state of this building. From Nakpayile, Mohammed Aminu M. Alabira for Citi News.
You're still watching the Citi Newsroom on Citi TV. Still to come. President Akufo-Addo describes the late overlord of Gonja, Yagbonra Sulemana Tutumba Bore Isa Jakpa I as a great leader who he will always remember for his role in the resolution of the Dagbon chieftaincy dispute. We'll bring you details of that story and more shortly. Please stay with us.
Plus is a fully skimmed evaporated milk. Creamy Plus is available in a shop near you.
This message has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
This is the neighborhood I'm having my twins.
The very reason why I took it for us. See, the price is very good and it's spacious to contain all of us.
Alphabet City. Now I'm a landlord. I don't pay rent. And my Airbnb business is booming.
To me, Pamini, bank and I'm in Alphabet City. The pension pay me 20%. The payment plan, I want to share my just very smooth.
This is a healthy place to raise our families and creating peace. Come on, be my neighbor.
Alphabet City, the ABC of Home Sweet Home.
Alphabet City is a classy and peaceful gated community in Sakumono. We have 24/7 top-notch security and high-quality access roads. We have 3 bedrooms and 2 washrooms, 3 bedrooms and 3 washrooms with boys' quarters. We have 3 bedrooms and 4 washrooms. We have 2 bedrooms and 2 washrooms, all with beautiful kitchens and kitchenettes. Call Alphabet City on 0240-111119 or 050-44-99999. Alphabet City, the ABC of Home Sweet Home.
You're welcome back to the Citi Newsroom. Let's bring you more stories now. President Akufo-Addo has described the late overlord of Gonja, Yagbonra Sulemana Tutumba Boris Jakpa I as a great leader who he will always remember for his role in the resolution of the Dagbon chieftaincy dispute. The president made the announcement at the 7th-day funeral rite of the late Yagbonra at the Jakpa Palace on Sunday. Citi News' Savannah regional correspondent Richard Fogo has more.
Yagbonra Sulemana Tuntumba Boresa Jakpa I passed on Sunday, 5th February 2023 at 90. He was buried at the Royal Cemetery at Mankuma in the Bole district in accordance with Gonja traditions. Former President John Dramani Mahama was guest at the 3-day funeral rite at the Jakpa Palace on 10th February. The 7-day funeral rites paves way for other rites that will lead to the installation of the next Yagbonra. Speaking at the Jakpa Palace to mark the 7-day Adua of the late Overlord, President Akufo-Addo, who led a powerful government delegation, described the late Yagbonwura as a great ruler. He said he will forever remember Tuntumba Boresa I for the role he played in the resolution of the Dagbon chieftaincy dispute and the creation of the Savannah region.
I came to Ghana today to join you to express our final prayers, the 7-day Adua to the soul of the great king of the Gonja, Boresa Tuntumba Boresa Tapa Solomana I. He was a great chief, not just because he occupied one of the great skins and schools of our country, but by virtue of his own comportment and conduct as a chief. There are two things that will always stick in my mind when I come to think of him. The first was the contribution he made as one of the three eminent chiefs in the resolution of the crisis in Dagbon. It was a blessing for me when I became president to have these eminent chiefs in place to help me in the governance of our country. And the history of our country will never forget his contribution and participation in that successful enterprise.
The Savannah Regional Minister, Said Muhazu Jibril, assured that the next Yagbonwura will be installed without any hitches, as he was already known by all even before the demise of Boresa I.
That the estimate of the new Yagbonwura after this funeral is in accordance with the Gonja tradition and will just pass without any diplomacies. Our tradition and practices handed over generations for a peaceful transition from one Yagbonwura to another. And this makes the Gonja chieftaincy very, very unique. I believe every child in Gonja land already knows who the next Yagbonwura is going to be. So, Mr. President, let me assure you that this is going to be done without any acrimony.
Other guests at the ceremony on Sunday were members of parliament, former government appointees, members of the diplomatic community, paramount chiefs, among others.
The chiefs and people of Gonja land today were joined by His Excellency President Akufo-Addo and all manner of people, including chiefs, members of the diplomatic community, and people within and outside of Savannah region to mark the 7-day death of the Overlord of Gonja, Yagbonwura Tuntumba Boresa I. This milestone paves way for many other rituals to be performed before a substantive Yagbonwura is installed to take over from him. As we heard the president, he said the late king was a great man and will be remembered for the role he played in the resolution of the Dagbon crisis and the creation of the Savannah region. For Citi News, I am Richard Fogo, Jakpa Palace, Dama.
It's common to find women experiencing postpartum depression or developing other mental health-related challenges shortly after childbirth. However, due to the limited education on it, many people are unable to detect it early enough to seek prompt medical attention so the condition does not degenerate. Some women have been sharing their experiences with Citi News' Bureau Chief for the Middle Belt, Edward Opomafo, in the following report.
Postpartum depression remains one of the main maternal health challenges in the world. It usually occurs after childbirth in mothers and can lead to loss of interest in the baby. The affected mother also tends to lose interest in things she used to be passionate about. She may experience sleep challenges, feel sad all the time, and in some cases, They abandon their babies or do not even want to get close to them. Other symptoms include having suicidal tendencies, tiredness, loss of appetite, difficulty in coping with daily activities, and other forms of mental health problems. Mamiama, not her real name, is a nurse who experienced postpartum depression.
And so many things change. Like during the anxiety, yes. Because at first, like when I had my first child, I was so happy and like I was free. Like I didn't experience anything like that, but the second one, when this thing happened, like I wasn't happy. Like even when I'm home, like I wasn't happy, and I was like, I don't know. I was even afraid of dying. Yes, I was afraid of dying. That was my main problem.
Afraid of dying? How?
Yes, like when the palpitation starts, the way my heart will be beating faster, and the way I'll be shaking. Like I'll be there and I'll say, oh, today is my last day on earth, and later I'll be fine.
How was your relationship with your baby? How was it like?
Oh, like anytime I see them, like I feel so sad that I'm not taking care of them well, and like I didn't want him to be closer to me.
Nana Banredu, not her real name, who was receiving medical attention at the time of the interview, also shared her experiences with Citi News.
Eyana etumi ya mesemisi same nyoma na mfifie nti efie ho amete no ma adwi nyina ne se bi ade na yeme no efrifie ho eni nti no me compreni se ni se na mesemisi same nyoma mfifie ho no mo se yare nana mesa ebi wo ho kra metuli di ma adwi busa me mba no kra me wo mo no kra omo kra ka ho na sa problem no ba me so.
Mamiama tells Citi News it was a difficult period for her family as they were struggling to comprehend what exactly was happening to her.
My husband wasn't comfortable with me at first, so I told a psychiatry nurse and she came home, explained everything to my husband that after birth some women go through some changes and all those stuff. So my husband should cope. So I explained further. It's nothing. It's not anything like witchcraft or something like that. It's not witchcraft. So he shall be calm and everything will be fine. Yeah. So I think when I did that, everything was cool. And I even told my parents, so they all know that I'm going through this, and they are also helping me in so many ways. When you seek for help, like you get it. Because for now, I think I'm getting better, and I'm praying that everything should be fine.
Dr. Ruth Charlotte Saki, a resident psychiatrist at the Konfanoji Teaching Hospital, has been highlighting what should be checked to know the early signs of postpartum depression.
There are those that I've seen even during pregnancy where they have come down with perinatal psychosis who needed to be quickly admitted and be stabilized so that they can be well enough to undergo their pregnancy and delivery. There are women who after delivery suffer conditions where they just cannot even look at their child. They feel that they are estranged from the baby. They feel they have this fear of harming the baby or the baby harming them. And there are those who are not able to breastfeed during that period. They are so depressed. There are those who have seen who wanted to actually end their lives.
She has also been explaining how the general public can best deal with someone experiencing such a challenge.
If you do not understand what is happening but realize there is a change, don't be hesitant. You may not be understanding everything that is happening, but instead of having to keep it, as a family unit. You've noticed that this woman, your daughter or your wife who just delivered and came home, it seems to be functioning so below what she could, or has complained of a few things, or clearly is showing clear change in behavior. Don't be. It's a vulnerable period. Don't be harsh. Don't be hard. It's not the time to quarrel. It's not the time to, rain insults. It's not the time to look for who should give who attention. It's actually a signal that the woman needs help.
It's obvious that many Ghanaians have not been well sensitized when it comes to issues related to postpartum depression. And as such, stakeholders will have to do more in ensuring that many people get to know more about it. For Citi News, I'm Edward Oponmafo, Kumasi.
You're still watching the Citi Newsroom on Citi TV, still ahead. Stakeholders in the education sector identify poverty and lack of parental care as a major contributory factor influencing absenteeism and teenage pregnancy among school-going children in mining communities. We have the details coming up shortly. Please don't go anywhere.
This nanny flop? Yes. What is it with pig feet? No.
Ghana is a country that's full of historical antecedents and rich cultural heritage. What is a rich cultural heritage without soul food? And what is soul food without a touch of ethnicity? And what is ethnicity if it's not from your village? The season of all things Ghanaian is upon us, and we are here to celebrate an aspect of our Ghanaianness with the Back to Your Village Food Bazaar, happening live from the 25th to the 26th of March 2023 at the forecourt of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. Come, let's treat ourselves to delectable, authentic Ghanaian cuisine from the northern, the middle, and the southern zones of the country that reflect our true cultural diversity. While at it, we'll be jamming to genuine Ghanaian music amidst games, competitions, storytelling, and so much more. Interested vendors of indigenous foods are invited to register. Don't let this be another missed opportunity. Call 0205-973-973 to book a stand and be part of the Back to Your Village Food Bazaar 2023. Anyamime, the country make hot too. So come, let's enjoy some good food, resounding music, heartfelt camaraderie, and remind ourselves why Ghana is still our home at the Back to Your Village Food Bazaar on the 25th and the 26th of March 2023 at the forecourt of the AMA from 8 a.m. each day. The Back to Your Village Food Bazaar is powered by Citi TV with support from Citi FM and is sponsored by Volta Ghana Limited and Malta Guinness.
Thank you for staying with us. Let's bring you more stories now. As stakeholders in the educational sector have identified poverty and lack of parental care as a major contributing factor influencing absenteeism and teenage pregnancy among school-going children in mining communities. Dozens of school-going children in lower primary constantly absent themselves from school to engage in galamsey. Also, illegal miners in these communities entice teenage girls and in the process get them pregnant. Citi News' Neoni Amate Kanaku has been assessing the impact of the warring situation in the Fantiakwa South District, a mining community in the eastern region, and has more in this report.
Last year, one of the classes, class 4, there were about 60 in a class. But by the time they were to be promoted to class 5, about 10 or 15 of them have stopped school. Why? Because of Galamsey.
That was Boy Albert, a teacher in one of the schools in the Fantiakwa South District of the Eastern Region, explaining how illegal mining, popularly known as Galamsey, is contributing to student absenteeism and teenage pregnancy in the area. The area, which is located on the main Accra-Kumasi highway, is blessed with arable lands with rich mineral deposit. This has led to the influx of both large and small-scale mining companies, as well as other foreign nationals who are engaging in illegal mining. The lucrative nature of the Galamsey venture has over the years seen the introduction of school-going kids in the lower primary join the trade, absenting themselves from school on a daily basis. Citi News checks in the area revealed that young teenage girls are also being enticed and lured by these Galamseyers who end up impregnating them. Madam Patricia Benuyena is the basic and second cycle schools coordinator in the area.
This Galamsey activity is not only destroying the environment, but it's leading to a huge number of school dropouts. It's even bringing about some other social vices like the prostitution and teenage pregnancy. So I am just appealing that those who care for our future, individuals and organizations and all other stakeholders and the parents, they should help us as educators so that we'll join our forces together for our future.
Unfortunately, not only are teenage girls in mining areas enticed with money by illegal miners, but some young girls in lower primary also engage in Galamsey.
The problem is very challenging for us because most of the girls don't want to come to school. Both boys and girls, all of them, they go for the Galamsey. So the challenges are they are not punctual at school. They don't come to school regularly, and also teenage pregnancy is rampant here because some of the children, they lack parental care and other things. So if they go out and they get someone to take care of her, they try to give in. They give in, and then it results in that teenage pregnancy and a whole lot of things.
The District Education Directorate says the situation has become troubling and alarming. Matthew Edubu is the Fantiakwa South Education Director.
The negative impact are there. Most of the miners, they are migrants. They come, and most of our boys, especially the boys, just after school, they have been coming to school, right? But after school, they go to the mining site to do their own thing. So at times, it affects, when they come to school, most of them, they can't concentrate, tiredness. And when they go home too, they don't revise. And some of our girls too have been falling victim to, teenage pregnancy as a result of their mining activities.
The Fantiakwa South District Security Council is worried by this trend and has tasked teachers in the district to engage parents. Ernest Ofosu is the DC and chairman of DISEC.
In order to curb this, DISEC has put measures in place, and we have also tasked the GES to ensure that parents are frequently talked to ensure that their wells are always in school, and then also to ensure that whoever absents him or herself for a number of days, that person is taken through some level of punishment. And we also have the guidance and counseling centers. They are also advising the pupils.
But according to the teachers, the involvement of school-going kids in Galamsey is an approval from their parents who are also enjoying proceeds from Galamsey.
Because their parents are not well-to-do, they are not having money. So sometimes the parents even benefit from what the children are doing. So they are not doing it in isolation, but they are doing it because the parents know, their parents are aware of what they are doing, because they benefit from what their children are doing. Sometimes they will complain to you, sir, I've talked to my child to come to school, but he's not willing. But when you try to talk to the child about whereabouts of the money that the proceeds from that galamsey, they said they've given it to their mother.
The country director for Child Development Program, who doubles as the convener of SDG Goal 4, Madame Joyce Lanyo, is equally worried by this development and says the country is losing its future.
This issue about galamsey and these are girls getting pregnant is a serious phenomenon that the government needs to pay attention to. You know, galamsey is a way of mining illegally, and then they are able to make money, so much money that school is not anything that they want to consider. Because after all, at the end of the day, they are getting the monies. And our girls, due to parental neglect, peer pressure, and other things, social media, have resorted to these young boys, giving them these stipends instead of going to school. Meanwhile, the parents who were supposed to provide all the necessary inputs for them to go to school have reneged on their responsibility. They are rather pushing their girls into, you know, these areas, these issues, and even child prostitution is also rife in galamsey areas.
Over the years, government, through some initiatives like Operation Hot 1 and 2 and the recently inaugurated River Guards, has tried to flush out illegal miners and clear water bodies. But to what extent has it been successful? Engineer Dr. Kenneth Asibe is the convener of the Media Coalition Against Illegal Mining.
I can tell you from a fact that those water guards and all of those things, they're not going to succeed. They're not going to be effective. You know, what capacity do those people have? What training do they have? How much training did we give them? You have military people, you have navies, that is their professions. We've not been able to use them to do the activity. So, you know, there are too many experimentations that we're doing about these things. We need to be more consistent and more deliberate about the way we are going to fight this thing. You know, the challenge with that, most of these guards, you know, they are from the community. They are known, familiarity will breed contempt. And so I'm not surprised that after so many months of doing this, we have not seen some changes.
Stakeholders in the educational sector here in the Fantiakwa South district of the Eastern region are worried by the continuous activities of illegal miners, which is having an adverse effect on their livelihoods and their child education here. Now, they want government to revisit the fight against illegal mining and step up efforts to ensure that all illegal miners in this enclave are gotten rid of, to ensure that girls stay in schools and boys also desist from engaging in illegal mining. For Citi News, Neoni Amate Kanaku, Drinasi.
Now to our final story. Early results have started to arrive from Nigeria's tightest elections. Official results from the southwestern Ekiti state show a clear victory for ruling party candidate Bola Tinubu in one of his strongholds. Further results will not be formally announced until 10 o'clock GMT on Monday. Following widespread delays and attacks on some polling stations on Saturday, voting was postponed until Sunday in parts of the country. Voting continued through the night in some areas. Turnouts appear to be high, especially among young people who make up about a third of the 87 million eligible voters. This makes it the biggest democratic exercise in Africa. The election has seen an unprecedented challenge to the two-party system that has dominated Nigeria for 24 years. Peter Obi from the previously little-known Labour Party, Mr. Tinubu from the ruling All Progressives Congress (APC), and Atiku Abubakar of the main opposition's People's Democratic Party (PDP) are all seen as potential winners. There are 15 other presidential candidates. A candidate needs to have the most votes and 25% of ballots cast in 2/3 of Nigeria's 36 states to be declared the winner. Otherwise, there will be a runoff within 21 days, a first in Nigeria's history. Well, this is where we bring down the curtains on today's edition of the Citi Newsroom here on Citi TV. Our website, citinewsroom.com, has more information on our top stories and more. Subscribe to CityTube on YouTube for more exclusive video content from Citi TV. You can also watch Citi TV on DSTV channel 363 and on GoTV channel 182. Well, my name is Michael Ogodu. Thank you for watching. As always, please stay safe.